I'd like to call to order the Proctor City Council meeting for Tuesday, July 5th, 2022. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll perform roll call at this time. Councilor Benson?
Present.
Councilor Reuter?
Present.
Councilor Johnson?
Present.
Councilor Dewall?
Present.
Mayor Ward is also present. Let the minutes reflect all others in attendance. Attorney Bray, Administrator Rich, Ted Kiefot, Chief Gaddis, and Megan Jordan. Looking for a motion to approve the City Council meeting minutes from Monday, June 20th, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. We'll also entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the budget working session from Monday, June 20th, 2022.
Move.
Councilor Benson made the motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Councilor Reuter seconds that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. At this time, we'll take comments and suggestions from the citizens present or watching online. The public comment suggestion period of this meeting is when the City Council offers a time for everyone in attendance or watching from home to address the City Council. Once we move on from public comment and suggestion period of the meeting, members of the public will no longer be allowed to address the council unless the mayor acknowledges you. As a general rule, the council will listen to all comments but will not comment on or respond to any comments made by speakers. The council will not engage in dialogue. However, any city councilor can ask questions. If you'd like to address the City Council during public comment suggestion period of the meeting, please come forward to the podium or dial 218-628-6289. Before you begin, please state your name and address for the meeting minutes. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the City Council will be prohibited from using obscene, profane, or threatening language or boisterous conduct that disrupts the meeting or the security of the public. Is there anyone at this time that is interested in participating in the public comment and suggestion period of this meeting? We'll give that a minute. Hearing none, we'll move on. Looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Councilor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. That will bring us to 3A. Clerk advises council, fire department, year-to-date call report. Administrator Rich.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a report from the fire chief on the year-to-date calls. From January to June, we have a total of 230 calls the fire department has responded to. 183 have been medical. 47 have been fire. Fire chief also asked that I report on our mutual aid calls that are included in these totals, but mutual aid nonetheless. And we have 0 mutual aid to Duluth, 3 mutual aid to Hermantown, 3 to Solway, 8 medical mutual aids to Midway Township. And a part of our Midway Fire Protection Agreement, we have 16 calls to Midway for fire.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions on the fire department year-to-date calls? Hearing none, we'll move on to 3B, 2021 financial report and presentation, July 18th, 2022. Administrator Rich.
Yep, you have your complete audited financial statements at your council desks. You can have a couple weeks to go through them. Representatives from the auditing firm will be here at the second meeting in July to give a presentation and answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions regarding the audit? No. Hearing none, we'll move on to 3C, 2022.
I do.
Oh, Councilor Benson.
You said second meeting in July?
Yes.
Did you have a exit audit with the auditors before this was printed up?
I would have to ask Finance Director Bloomfield if she
okay.
did, but she did give one last final review of it before it was printed, yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering if there was anything we should be looking for as we go through it between now and the next meeting.
Yep, there was nothing noteworthy in the
Okay.
report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to 3C, 2022 election filing notice, August 2nd, 2022 to August 16th, 2022.
Yep,
Administrator Rich.
I wanted to give you a heads up that notice of filing will be published in the next couple weeks. So you have an opportunity to look for it and the positions that will be up for election.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions regarding the election? Hearing none, we'll move on to 3D, data practices annual review. Administrator Rich.
So this has been put on our calendar to review our data practices annually, as been requested by Councilor Benson and other city councilors. We just passed our data practices policy, so I'm thinking that we can forego that review because it was just recently passed, but wanted to run that by you before I made that assumption.
Any discussion on that? Yep. I'm okay with that as long as Attorney braces we're good for going it. Any other discussions on that? Hearing none, we'll move on to 3E, code update. Administrator Rich.
Thank you. So if you have not seen, the new Proctor City Code is completely online on the website. You do have to go down to the bottom of the page. We're going to do some maybe a little bit of work on its placement, but we're just all getting used to it. It's you can search by chapters. You can do a keyword search with it. We've known of several residents that have used it already, so we're happy to have it up and online available to residents.
Thank you. Any questions regarding city code update? I just would like to commend Sally and all the staff that worked on it and committees and commissions that reviewed and updated the code. So thanks for all that hard work. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to 3F, Police Department / Sergeant position. Administrator Rich.
So, you as a city council approved opening up an interim sergeant position while our sergeant is on some medical leave, and the police commission met and have made a recommendation to advance Officer Matt Riebel into the interim sergeant position. So he has been promoted to that position by the police commission, and just keeping you up to date on their actions.
Thank you. Any questions regarding the sergeant position? And that was a 120-day intern?
Up to, yeah.
Up to 120 days. Thank you. Hearing no questions regarding that, we'll move on to 3G, Uggstead Road annexation. Administrator Rich.
Yep. Councilor Roweeder asked about this at the last council meeting, and what I can only tell you is that Attorney Bray and I have gone many go-betweens between the state and the MnDOT on the legal description. So we're continue to work on it. It's every time we give the state the legal description, there's something wrong with it, and so we will continue to work on it.
Really, the Department of Transportation
Yeah.
finds things wrong with
Thank you. Any questions or concerns regarding that? Hearing none. That will bring us to 4C, city brand process. Administrator Rich.
We have received a settlement, insurance settlement on the Levake Road welcome sign. Rather than going through a whole sign redesign and rebranding, I don't think that the intention of a new design to this sign wasn't a rebranding as such. So we really have no plans of doing any rebranding for the city in the near future. So if you wouldn't mind, we could take that agenda item off, and then we'll know that if we ever do go through that process, that it's a larger process with perhaps committees and more input from other people.
Thank you. So we'll entertain a motion to remove 4C, city rebrand process from the agenda at this time.
So moved.
Councilor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. That will bring us to 5A, liquor control recommendation. Prior to this meeting, liquor control held a meeting, and their recommendation is to approve the liquor license for the Legends Dart Bar, which is currently the Pit Stop Bar, but name change to Legends Dart Bar. I'll make a motion to approve that recommendation if there's a second.
Second.
Second by Councilor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 5B, Resolution 19-22, right-of-way encroachment agreement. In your packet is Resolution 19-22 regarding a right-of-way encroachment agreement. The homeowner, if you read through that, put up a fence. It is encroaching on the city's right-of-way. What this agreement does is makes the homeowner responsible for any damages that are made to the fence or the clearing of the snow. So just looking for a motion to approve Resolution 19-22.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 19-22.
Councilor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second? Second. Second by Councilor Benson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. 5C, Public Safety Committee recommendation. Public Safety has a recommendation to approve the Hill of 5K event at Hoghead as it's been held in the past. Looking for a motion to approve that event application. That event application was added to our desk prior to the meeting, so.
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor DeWall. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. 5D, Proctor Public Utilities Commission, retirement notification. On your packet was a letter from Commissioner Lind announcing her resignation effective August 31st of 2022. Looking for a motion to approve the resignation. I'll make the motion to approve the resignation. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Councilor Reuter. Any further discussion? I'd like to add thank you to Carol for her 30-plus years of service to the city of Proctor, whether it will be as an employee or a commissioner on multiple different boards. So thank you to her for that. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Bring us to 5E, SEH sand salt bid recommendation. In your packet were the 5 bids that came in for our salt sand facility. It is SEH's recommendation to go with Whiten Company in the amount of $689,978. Is there a motion to approve that bid? I'll make that motion if there's a second.
Second.
Sent by Councilor Reuter. Any discussion? I would like to add, because I know council's been big on local purchases, and I know this letter states Vite Company's out of Rogers, Minnesota. Their headquarters are out of Rogers, but they have a shop right down on Bex Road, so they are a local company as well. Just wanted to make sure council is aware of that. Any other discussion?
Was this bid recommended based solely on?
Is your mic on?
Was the bid based solely on dollar amount? And you said they're on Bex Road.
Yep, right down in Gary.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. 6F, Ordinance 03-22, adopting 1997 Uniform Building Code Table Number 1A, first reading. So in your packet was Ordinance 03-22. This is the first reading of it. We are striking the 1991 Uniform Building Code Table Number 3A, building permit fees out of this, and we are adding 1997 Uniform Building Code Table 1A, building permit fees. So is there any discussion on this first reading? Hearing none, we'll move on to 6G. 6G, Ordinance 04-22, regulating the storage and transportation of de-icing material. First reading. And Administrator Rich, if you want to jump in on any of these, feel free. But this one, again, is ordinance change due to the MS4 requirements. Any property dealing with de-icing material has to follow this new policy. Is that correct, Administrator Rich?
That is correct, yeah. The next several ordinances are particularly related to the MS4 requirements.
Thank you. Any discussions on the first reading of Ordinance 04-22? Hearing none, we'll move on to 5H. Ordinance 05-22, replacing Proctor Municipal Code Chapter 152, construction site and post-construction stormwater management. So in your packet was a lengthy new stormwater management policy. This is just first reading, so were there any questions regarding the new stormwater policy?
We did completely rewrite the entire chapter. There were so many changes and nuances that needed to be made that it was best to completely take out the old chapter and replace it with all the new laws and requirements of stormwater management.
Thank you. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, we'll move to 5I, Ordinance 06-22, pet waste, first reading. Again, with the MS4 requirements, we had to draft a new city ordinance for pet waste. So first reading of this, we'll have a discussion if there's any discussion regarding it. Hearing none, we'll move on to members' concerns. Councilor Benson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to thank the administration again for providing us with the financial report early, so we have an opportunity to review that. I think that's something new as opposed to just sitting in on the exit audit, so I certainly appreciate that. Also, I think we need to have a discussion on the referendum, if you will. It got hung up as one of those to-do things down at the state with the tax committee. I don't know if the legislature is going to be returning, and if they do return, whether or not they're going to vote for it. Usually at this time, there's a resolution approving this sales tax for recreation. So I don't know if we still want to keep planning in the event there may be a vote, or do we just say, there's just not enough time to put together a good campaign to let the residents know what it's all about, and we'll just have to save it for the next general election. 2024? Yeah, which would push the project out to 2025.
If I could comment, the deadline for getting any special questions on your ballot is 90 days before the election, and that's in August. So we would have to know whether we're going to have that question on the ballot, and I don't see the legislature making any action on that by then. So I'm thinking,
don't think so.
yeah, I'm thinking we may have to push it back.
On the other hand, we may get lucky because if Hermantown's question on their ballot passes, we then become the missing link. And hopefully the legislature will say, listen, we'll just fund you through the LCCMR or whatever sort of funding is available. So I didn't want to mention that. The chief's here. Chief, do we still have a staffing shortage?
Yes,
In your department?
yes.
How are we handling vacation policies? I mean, are people still getting their vacation?
As of now, yes, if they want vacation, we're making it work.
And we just work around that?
The guys are working it amongst themselves to sit there and look at their schedule, see what's important to them, to what they can take off, and they're doing it very well amongst themselves at the present time.
Okay. Councilor Benson, before you go on, can we go back to your last question? If the legislation decides to take a vote on that referendum, and we don't have enough time to get it on the ballot, would that still apply for 2024? Or do we got to go back down to the legislation for another approval for that election?
I think once the legislature approves it, and I don't know for sure, but I'll check, it's approved to go to the voters. And I don't think that expires.
I don't believe so.
I don't think it does.
Okay.
You know, the question is, would we be able to have a special election outside of the general election, because they allow schools to do that?
Thank you. I just was curious on that. Thank you, though.
And that concludes my questions. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor DeWalt.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Johnson.
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Reuter.
I would just like to mention that the Manaveri Churches Together are once again planning their free community picnic. It's going to be held on Thursday, July 21st, from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. at St. Rose Church. Everybody's invited. Hopefully we'll have nice weather and we'll have good food, so
It's always a good time.
put it on your calendar.
Thank you, Councilor. I just got one thing. July 1st, last Friday, Chief Gaddis and I did our Blight ride-along. I got a report typed up. I will put that on the next council agenda for councilors to review. So that is taken care of. Attorney Bray.
Nothing.
Nothing for you. Administrator Rich, did you have any more to add?
Nothing additional.
Thank you. With that being said, we'll entertain a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $108,804.70.
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
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 Oppose? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Councilor DeWall made the motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Thank you.